Hello, welcome to JavaScript tutorial. This is Sherful. In this lecture we're going to learn encapsulation, which is object-oriented programming features. So we'll see what is encapsulation, and then there is an example. So what is encapsulation in JavaScript? So the JavaScript encapsulation is a process of binding or wrapping data in a variables with the function acting on that data. It allows us to control the data, like it allows us to hide the data. So if you want, you can hide the data through the encapsulation, make it private. So to achieve an encapsulation in JavaScript, we have to use a variable to make the data members private. Then we have to use two different methods. It's called setter method or set method to set the data, to set the value to that data or to that variable. Also there is another method, it's called getter method or get method to retrieve the data from that variable. So the bottom line, the process of wrapping property and function within a single unit is known as an encapsulation. Okay, so it's a help you to wrap up some data to a specific value, to a specific variable, to make it private, to hide the data, so that the data is not open. But to assign the value to that data, to that variable in a specific data, you have to use one method is called setter method or set method, and to retrieve the data we have to use another method is called get method or getter method. Okay, so you are not directly retrieving the data from that variable, but you are using a method to retrieve the data, as well as you are using another method to assign the data. Okay, so let's go to our VS Code. So in our VS Code, let me increase the font a bit. Okay, so let's create a class. I will create a class person. Okay, and inside a class person I will create a constructor. So constructor is another method, special method. If you don't know what is constructor, please watch my other lecture, other tutorial. It's about object class and constructor. So it is a special method where it's used to assign some value, some global variable. Okay, so here I'm going to declare two variable like bar name and also another variable marks. Okay, so the two variable I declare underneath constructor. So it's like a local variable over here for now, since its constructor is another method. So and there is no value or no data assigned to this two variable. So now we're going to create methods. That methods will help us to assign some data to this two variable, as well as there will be another method called getter method or get method to retrieve the data from this two variable. So that's the encapsulation, like you are hiding some data, you're assigning some data to a private variable, something like that. Okay, so let's create another method is called get name. So get name, it is a retrieve method. So get name, so for the name, this method will help us to retrieve the data, whatever the data or value we're going to assign to this variable. So if I just, and then later on when we will call this method, we'll get the value. So what we are looking for, we're looking for return, and then let's make this global variable, return this name, same variable. So this get name method is returning some whatever the the data is going to assign to this name, returning this variable as a global variable. So I'm returning this variable as a global variable, so it will return this name. So other hand, whatever the value we're going to assign, say if name has like Sherful, it will return Sherful by this method when you're going to call this method. Okay, so when you call this method, it will return. So before we call return method, we have to set the value to to this two variable. For the name, let's create another method. It's called set method, or give a name set name. So this is the method name, set name, and then let's, what do I want to set? What I want to set? I want to set some value to this variable. So let's call this variable as a global variable. Name equals to what I want to assign. I want to assign some value. So for now I'm going to assign another variable. Is called name. Okay, so let's name, okay, what I'm going to say, let's name 1. Okay, so let's put this one as a parameter. So when I call setter method, set name method, so there is a parameter up here, say name 1, which is come over here. It's replies assigned to this name variable, right? So name 1, it's just another variable I'm assigning. So it is one data, but it's not actual data. So when I'm going to call this method using object reference of this class, that time I will pass the actual value as an argument. So I will pass, say, Shoreful, or say John. So John will be replaced by the name 1. So this name variable will assign actual name like a John or Shoreful. Okay, so that's the way this name variable will get some value. And then when I call this method, the get method for this, and it will return this name. It means by the time this name will have the value, it's like a John, so it will return John, right? So same way I will use the get method for the marks. So let's get marks, right? Okay, and then I will return it. I will return this, and you know this, I hope everybody knows this keyword is a keyword that's refer to your global variable, global level, to your class level, which is a global. So let's marks. So I want to return the marks, right? So after we assign the value to marks variable, like now this will return. So now I'm going to set some value to this mark, right? Okay, so this will be set marks, right? And here I will say return some marks, marks, marks 1. So let's change this one to marks 1. So again I'm passing a parameter, and then this parameter or this variable will assign to this marks, this marks, marks. So marks now have marks 1 variable. So when I will call this method, I will pass actual value. I will pass actual argument. So say marks, maybe say whatever the name, marks, I would say like 80, whatever it is, right? So it will be replaced, the value will be replaced up here. Okay, and then this marks will get actual value, and when we'll call this get methods again, it will have the return the actual value. So instead of calling directly those variable, I'm using get set method to assign the value to this variable, and get method, it's retrieve the value from this variable. So that's the encapsulation. Okay, so let's now, if I want to call those methods underneath this class, so I have to create an object of this class, right? I have to create an object of this class. So let's create an object sort of the class. So to create an object of a class, so all you have to create is a new keyword, and same your class name, so person, right? And then puts in a variable. What's the variable name? Say anything, per, and then say puts in a return type. So this is the new person, this is the object of this class. Okay, and I put in a variable which is now it's working as an object reference, so it's pointing to this object. So object, it nothing, it's just a clone of this class. So it has, this object has the knowledge about all the properties it has, like these two variables, all the methods, get and set methods. So it means indirectly this object reference is pointing to this object. So it means this object reference has also knowledge, all the information, all the properties it has underneath this class. So now easily I can use object reference to call any one of the properties from this class. So let's call first, we're going to call set method, so that we can set the value first, and then we'll call the get method to retrieve the data. So set name, okay, set name, and then as soon as I call set name, what will happen? So as soon as I call set name, okay, as soon as I call set name, where is the set name? Set name, so it has a argument, one parameter, so it expect one argument to pass over here. So over here, so I'm going to pass shortful, okay. So now this shortful, it will call the set name, and this shortful will be replaced by name1. So name1 is now shortful. So this name is a global variable now. So it is assigning by the value is shortful, okay. So and when I'm going to call the get name, get name, it will return this value. So I will call later on. Let's assign the value for other one. So like for marks, say par, so using the same object reference, marks, okay, marks, let's say, you know what, it makes sense if I use age probably, okay. Oh, it's fine, okay, marks. So let's pass the value marks 95, okay, 95, okay. So now marks, it's calling sorry, where is the get marks? Sorry, get marks, this method, it should call get marks, okay. So now get marks, wait a minute, set marks, sorry, not the set, I'm sorry, it should be it should be set. So we're supposed to use the set one to assign the value. So similarly, set marks, assign the marks, right? Set marks, set name first, set name, so it has the variable or parameter, so this is the value. So when I call set marks, this one also marks 1, instead of marks 1 it will be 95, okay. So now marks 1 is the value 95, also name 1 has the value shortful. So now, and indirectly you can say name and marks both have the value, which is shortful and 95. Now how to retrieve the value? We have now assigned, now it's time to retrieve. If I want to retrieve, it's very simple. If I say console.log, if I want say so what's the method name, we can say par dot for, we have to now get name, right? Get name, say get name. If I just call get name methods, right, get name methods, it will automatically call this guy. It will call this method, and this, it will return this name. So what is this name? Name is now shortful, so it will return shortful. So get name have the value as shortful, so it will print the shortful, right? Same way we can say other one, par get marks, right? Marks, so it will return the marks 95. Let's see, okay, let's run it, run code. Okay, you can see here. Okay, let me clear this. Okay, clear output. Let's run it again. You can run from here. Okay, you can say shortfall 95. So now where this shortfall 95 comes from. It comes from by calling this getToGets method, and again, toGets methods, it's returning in the same the name and marks variable. And before we how is the values get assigned to this variable? By using set method, set marks and set name. Okay, so that's the way you can indirectly assign to a local variable. You can assign value to a variable by using set method, and you can call or retrieve the value by using get method. Okay, now if I want to use in our browser this value, how can I use this? Okay, let's put this one here in a mark. So what do we have? I have a HTML file over here, index.html. It's very simple, just a very simple HTML page. Here is nothing. I have a body, just I said welcome to CodenBox Automation. That's the header, and then there is a paragraph I created and give a name, ID equals to person ID, so that, and it is an empty paragraph, so that I can replace those value. So whatever the value I retrieve, like get name and get marks, by the get name and get marks I can retrieve over here, okay, underneath in this paragraph, okay. So that's why I create an ID, so that I can use this ID to call this web element, this parameter, this paragraph, and replace over here the value. Okay, and here is my okay, let me update this. Here is my JavaScript file. So its name is Encapsulation. So let me have to change it to make sure that it can link to this JavaScript file. Encapsulation, right? So the name is encapsulation.js, right? Should be good. So now come to over here. Here what I'm going to do, so as you know, JavaScript use a default object is called document, so that it can call any node or any web element from the HTML page. So we'll use the document dot, then use another method is called get element. So whatever the ID class, so we use the ID, right? We have an ID over here, ID per, PID. So we have to call this paragraph. So use this ID, and the value of the ID passes here. Okay, person ID. And then what do we want to do? We want to put some text over here, right? So there's another method, it's called inner HTML. You can see inner HTML equals to, what are we going to do? So we are going to retrieve the whatever the value we retrieve, it will be replaced over here. It will be replaced in this the HTML page, the up there over here in this paragraph, right? So what is the value? To get the value, we can we have to call the method. So we'll say par dot first is get name method, and then let's put a empty string, empty space, so that we can see the difference. There is a space between this to par dot get marks, right? Okay, so this will retrieve the value from get name. It will call the get name, right? Get name, and it will return the name from here, and also there will be space, and then it will also call get marks. So it will return the marks, and from which is I pass over here, right? Save it, make sure you save it. And now if I want to, it is, if I run this one, it will show exactly the same thing, but this is like on browser. We can see the live output on browser. So let's open my the project I have saved, this one. Let me find out my folder. Okay, so here is my folder. I can show you. So here is my folder. You can see here is, okay, I have the index file. So this is the index one, and here is my Encapsulation file, JS script file here. So let's open this one, right? Let's open, I would open as say Google Chrome. Okay, so it's showing welcome to CodenBox Automation Lab, but it's not showing. Okay, let me see this. If I see here, if I see console, and then it should okay, refresh it one more time. Okay, Encaps. Okay, and there is an error bar that marks is not a function. Okay, so I think there is a mistake happened. So let's close this one and minimize this. Okay, see where is the problem, where we did the mistake. Okay, it's saying new person, so we passed this variable set marks. Okay, set name, get that, get name, get apart that. Okay, sorry, did a mistake over here. The method is get mark, so I didn't put the get, right? So let's copy this. Right, so that should be good now. Let's run it again. Okay, refresh it. Here we go. Now we can see shortfall 95, and if it's okay, so that's the way you can also get the live update. You can see the live result, the retrieve value by using get method when you call the get method. Okay, and this is the, so you see this, like we declare a variable but we didn't assign value to this variable directly, so we're wrapping the data, like assigning the value, wrapping the data through a variable, through these two variables, and and then we're assigning and retrieve the value by using methods like function over get and set methods. And whole things, this variables and methods, this whole things is working as a one unit, right? As a unit. So that's the call, this wrapping process, the hiding value to a variable and assigning value to variables. This whole process it is called encapsulation. Hope it's helped you to understand it. Thank you so much. If you like the tutorial, please subscribe and stay tuned. We'll have more tutorial in terms of object-oriented programming features in JavaScript. Have a good one. Bye bye.